Hey guys, this is Martin again from Bug Bounty Service, and today I'm going to show you a brute force attack against an authentication portal. It's an authentication vulnerability, and we'll be talking a bit about why this is an issue and what can be done to prevent these kind of attacks. So as you can see here on the screen, there is a login portal which gives you access to an authorized section of the web application. And so as an attacker, as a hacker, what people typically do is they try to see, first of all, if there's like an admin account, and then we put in like admin and test, right? And then we hit secure login, and there was an error logging you in. So that didn't work. Let's go over to burp, look at our request. So this was our post request here to the login PHP with an action parameter on login. And then down here, you see the username and password, right? So what I want to try now is to brute force the password. So I'm presuming there is an admin account. So very often people call it admin or root or, like administrator or anything like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm sending this request to something called an intruder, which is a brute forcing tool within burp. And then I presume there is an admin account, right? So I'm basically setting the payload position here on the password by simply saying add here. And then you see those paragraph signs, and then that means the program will reiterate with different password combinations through that until it finds a match. Okay, then you go over to the next tab. This is where you specify your payload, your actual passwords you want to try. You could do all this manually, right? But it's a very tedious process and stuff, and this is why you can automate it with burp. So it's a simple list, and then here in the text file, I have like a couple of basic passwords. It's like 101 different passwords. There's huge lists out there, like for example, on payload all the things, you find password lists, but also like on other websites where you find like specific ones geared towards a specific language, like English or Spanish or German or French or whatever, right? But we do this simply here. So we use this list, it's 101 passwords we're going to try. You can head over to the resource pool, and then you can specify here like how many attempts, concurrent requests you want to send. So this is dependent on the web application you're testing, and you will see this normally quickly if they have rate limiting or brute force protection, because then after 5 attempts, for example, it will lock you out for a specific amount of time. So you can choose 10 is the default by burp. I've chosen one, right? So one concurrent request, so one password after the other. And then we hit start attack. And then what you see is it's now trying all these different passwords against the web application. So if you go into one of these requests, you see it's now trying username admin and password 123456. And then in the next one, it's trying admin and password as the password, and then 12345678 and so on, right? And down here you can see it's running through all the different payloads, and it's quite slow because we have chosen only to send one request after another sequentially, right? Like, so you can have concurrency in there, but then again, the web application may behave differently or log you out or whatnot, right? And then you can either check the response tab, and then you can put a rendering option, and then you see like there was an error logging you in. So I can also do, for example, search here for error, right? And there was an error logging you in. So we look for a message back in the response which does not say there was an error logging you in, right? And so there's additional tools where you can grab for error messages in burp, but one of the most simple ways to do this is by sorting the length column, because the length column typically indicates, see, they're all 10399 in terms of the length. So they are all identical. So if I sort this and I see there is the request number 25 was a different length, which basically the response looks completely different, right? Like, because the response locks you basically in. So you see, if I go to the request, the username which I specified was admin, and the found password was admin. Okay, so now I can take this request and say, show the response in browser. I copy this, I move it over to the web browser and I paste it in here. And then you see what happens is you are actually being logged into the portal. So you have successfully brute forced the password with Burp Suite. I hope that makes sense and you have learned something, and I look forward to see you in one of the next videos. Thank you.